CharCole podcast is recorded in front of a live studio audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, or reuse of any of the materials contained within this podcast is strictly prohibited without the express written consent of the CharCole podcast. Welcome back to the CharCole podcast. This is episode 24 of the podcast, and today we're going to be talking about the semifinal round in the playoffs for the SDHSAA football playoffs. So we'll start it off with Chuck.
So first thing we're going to talk about is our class picks last week. Mason went 4 for 4 last week, picking winner, Sioux Valley, Bridgewater, Emory, Ethan, and Mobridge Pollock.
Colby last week went 3 for 4. He chose winner, EPJ, Bridgewater, Emory, and Mobridge Pollock.
Lane Espedal went 4 for 4, picking winner, Sioux Valley, BEE, and Mobridge Pollock.
Dylan Reimnitz went 2 for 4 last week. He picked winner, EPJ, Bridgewater, Emory, and St. Thomas More.
Jordan Stoltz went 4 for 4 also, picking winner, Elk Point Jefferson, or he picked Sioux Valley, Bridgewater, Emory, Ethan, and Mobridge Pollock.
Chris went 4 for 4 last week, picked winner, Sioux Valley, Bridgewater, Emory, and Mobridge Pollock.
Dawson went 4 for 4 also, picking winner, Sioux Valley, Bridgewater, Emory, Ethan, and Mobridge Pollock.
Lincoln also went 4 for 4 last week with all the previous winners.
Coach K went 3 for 4, and he picked the St. Thomas More game wrong.
Reed Russ also went 3 for 4, also with picking the St. Thomas More game wrong.
Cole Pranger also picked the St. Thomas More game, going 3 for 4.
And now we're going to get into our picks. I went 3 for 4 last week. If I recall in the last episode, I said that the Mobridge Pollock St. Thomas More game wasn't going to be close, but it was going to be in favor of St. Thomas More. That was very clearly wrong, so I went 3 for 4. Other than that, all my picks were pretty spot on throughout the entire thing. So.
Yep. I completely agree, and we'll hit our picks here in a little bit, but you can kind of run over the standings here.
So the standings, there's 6 people at 11-1, 4 at 10-2, and 3 at 9-3. At 11-1, we have Dawson Gerlach, Lincoln Clues, Lane Espedal, Chris Meyer, Jordan Stoltz, and Mason Hetland. At 10-2, you have Reed Russ, Cole Pranger, and yours truly. And at 9-3, we have Dylan Reimnitz, Colby Kaiser, and Coach K.
So now we're going to hit 9B. We're going to head up through the 7 classes. And so let's hit 9B quick. What we're going to do is we're going to hit each game, and we'll talk about the semifinal game. Kadoka area Scotland. We picked this one pretty close. 30-point game. Faith, Bell Rapids, St. Mary. No surprise here. We picked that game also. Coleman Egan Harriet Selby is the only game that I didn't see going that way. I thought Coleman Egan was going to win that. They ended up losing by 30.
I can't remember which one I picked there, but that was a really surprising game to see that score.
Wasn't surprised about the Woolsey Wessington game. All right, let's talk about the semifinal round. Kadoka area, Del Rapids, St. Mary. What do you think?
It's going to be a really close game, I think. Del Rapids St. Mary really got gypped with the 5 seed,
right.
But obviously unfortunate circumstances. They didn't play all their games due to COVID reasons. So this one I think is going to be a toss-up between either team. It's going to be a close game throughout. Well played by both teams. Now who to pick? I'm feeling the upsets getting shut. I'm going Del Rapids St. Mary.
I agree here. I don't think Kadoka area wins it. I think Del Rapids St. Mary wins this game for sure. And let's go at this next game. Woolsey Wessington Harriet Selby area. This might be one of the better games in the state.
Yeah.
And it's in 9B. I really think Harriet Selby, since they beat that Coleman Egan team, is going to look better. But Woolsey Wessington wins this game.
Yeah, I think they're going to look really good going into the game, which is why it's going to be so close. But I think Woolsey Wessington is going to pull out, if I had to guess, probably 2 or 3 touchdowns.
I could agree. Now let's hit 9A. Howard beat Castlewood by a large margin. We seen that coming. Canastota Freeman destroyed Phillip in the 4-5, which is kind of interesting. You think that'd be close.
Yep.
Wall beat Lyman only by 22, but they still won. And then Warner beat Ipswich and Mount Central 20-14. So now in the semifinals, you got Howard and Canastota Freeman, a rematch of the best game of the year. That ended up having Howard won by a fake field goal. That really got themselves the 1 seed. What do you think here?
This one, it's going to be a repeat of the last game they played. It's going to be really close and really hard fought throughout both teams. I don't think it's going to go the same way it did in the regular season. I think Canastota Freeman's going to pull this one out.
I don't agree with you. I think Howard's going to win this game by a little bit more than last time. I think they're going to win it by 2 touchdowns. I think Howard's the better team here. I think they actually this game will be better than the state championship in 9A. But now let's head down to the Wall Warner game in Wall on the turf. What are your thoughts here?
Based on their first round games, both of them are really close. Wall should have beat Lyman by more. I feel like
I agree.
In that 2-7 game. The 3-6 game was close, 1 touchdown difference. So based on the first round games, you really can't make that much of a decision. I'm just gonna go Wall.
I'm gonna go Warner here, just because I think Ipswich was better than what people think.
Yeah.
But maybe Wall surprised. I don't know much about either of these teams.
I don't either.
I just know Warner's always had success. The Monarchs are always good. Now let's go to the best class, I think, overall, other than maybe from AAA for all I know. 9AA. So Viborg Hurley beats Rapid City Christian by that 50 margin we seen. Plagiatus Hansen, absolutely crazy game. I was there and you watched.
Yep.
Absolute. We picked that game right. I think you picked Hansen. I picked.
Yeah,
that game right.
I was feeling the upsets. Yep.
The Arlington Preston Hamlin game, a 50-point game. We've seen that coming. Lemon McIntosh, Florence Henry. Florence Henry almost won the game.
Yep.
28-22. So now in the semifinals, we got Viborg Hurley. Plagiatus, thoughts here?
I think Viborg Hurley's going to take this one. I think they're the best team going in. Platt's going to give them a good run, though. It's going to be a close game, I have a feeling. Or it's going to be, 40 points. You never know.
I agree.
It could go anywhere, but I think Viborg's going to win.
I know what you're saying, and just because I'm going to the game on Friday, I'm picking Platt. Hamlin, Lemon McIntosh. I think Hamlin, everyone thinks Lemon McIntosh is the second best team in the state. They're ranked 3, but Hamlin's at the 2. I think Hamlin possibly wins this game.
I think there's a good shot for either team. Personally, they've both had really good seasons.
Right.
It's going to be a really good matchup. I think Hamlin squeaks one out here, but Lemon McIntosh is going to give him a really good fight. So yeah, it's.
I do think close. Lemon McIntosh has the best backfield in the state.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to 11B. We kind of hit the winners of each game. Winner McCook Central Montrose 30-0. Closer than most people expected.
Yeah, that was.
Everyone thought Winner was going to run right through them, and they really didn't. It was 8-0 after the first quarter. McCook Central kept it close. If they could have ran a little bit more with the Krause looked a little slow, which was interesting in that game.
Well, they also ran him about
2,000
times during the season.
I'm not gonna. Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm not gonna disagree with you there. Sioux Valley outpoint Jefferson 44-21. Sioux Valley. I thought that was gonna be closer, but it's still a 23-point game. Bridgewater Emory Ethan Woonsocket. We seen that coming. 42-6. Mobridge Pollock St. Thomas More 20-9. Surprised me. So now we know Mobridge Pollock is the what I consider Webster of this year. Webster was kind of that surprise team from up north. So let's go Winner Sioux Valley. What do you think?
I think Winner's going to take this one. Personally, I think they have a best team overall coming in. They're going to take this one. What did I have down here? Not very close, but maybe it is. So I could say that about really every game, but Winner's definitely going to take this one. 2 or 3 touchdowns.
100% agree. Could even be a big blowout here.
Yep.
The Winner's favor. Let's go Bridgewater Emory Ethan Mobridge Pollock. This is a tough game to choose, and I'll let you talk first before I say anything, but I want to see what you think.
I think it's going to be a really close game. Mobridge Pollock has proved themselves in the first couple games. They didn't upset St. Thomas More technically, but we all thought St. Thomas More was the better team going in. Okay. I still think they were. But Mobridge Pollock proved themselves against St. Thomas More. I think they're going to give Bridgewater a run for their money. I do believe that Bridgewater Emory is going to win.
You know what? So, in my bracket, to win the thing, I had to take Mobridge Pollock to win this thing because everyone was taking Bridgewater. But I think Bridgewater will win the game. It might not make sense to you guys at home, but in the bracket challenge, I have to get this game right.
Yeah. He's one game behind, so
I'm throwing up a prayer.
Yeah, he has to get this one, or he's going to send himself 3 games behind.
Right.
You never know.
So it's something else. But anyways, Bridgewater wins this game. Let's go to 11A. The T Lennox game, forfeit by Lennox. T's in the semifinals without playing a game. Dakota Valley Madison surprised me, really. I thought Dakota Valley was going to play a lot better, and I think I chose Dakota Valley to win that game.
I think you might have. I don't know. I have to look back at it, I guess.
But Madison really surprised me there, winning 40-7. Canton Millbank closer than I expected. Also, I thought that game was going to be a huge blowout.
I watched that game. It was not. Millbank gave them a really good run. There was points where Millbank had the ball with a chance to win the game, and I think they did. With about 3 minutes left, they had it on their own 25, and they fumble it in the backfield. But they hold Canton so they didn't score. So that was a really close game both ways.
Right. So West Central Del Rapids too. That's one of the better games last week too.
Yeah.
But West Central squeaks that one out. So let's go T area Madison. What do you think?
Madison doesn't really get a lot of the credit they deserve at the 5 seed there, but I still think T's going to win that game.
100% agree. T wins the state championship, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think Canton even gives them a run for their money.
No.
But Canton West Central, what do you think?
This is also going to be one of those close games. Both of the games in the first round were really close defensive battles mainly. That also is affected by the weather a lot too.
I agree.
But it's going to be close. You could flip a coin for this one, honestly.
I could agree. This is going to be a really, really good game.
Yep.
But you don't have to take weather into effect in this game.
No, it's gonna be nice.
So let's go to Double A, where things are really interesting. Brookings Spearfish. Brookings beat them by 45. They had their second stringers in the friggin' third possession.
Yep.
Let's go with Sturgis Huron. Huron beat Sturgis, which really didn't surprise me at all.
No.
I could see that coming. I think Sturgis kind of shooed their way into that 4 seed, which is interesting. They ended up getting a Mitchell win, which was big for them to get that 4 seed, but it didn't matter anyways. They lost. Yankton Douglas, no surprise there, 41-7. And then PRTF Riggs versus Mitchell. Mitchell actually had the lead in that game for a while.
Quite a few times. They went back and forth. The second half was pretty crazy. I was watching that one too. I have about 4 YouTube tabs open watching a bunch of different games.
It happens. It happens. So Brookings Huron, I think this is going to be an absolute bad game. I don't think this is going to be a good game at all.
No, Brookings is going to go in and they're just going to destroy Huron.
Yep.
You can call me a little biased here because my cousin is the head coach at Brookings, but I'm not biased at all. Brookings is just a really good team.
You're right. I
So
100% agree.
Yep.
Huron doesn't have much of a chance here. Their backfield is good, though. I will give them that. Yankton PRTF Riggs. Good game, though. I think Yankton squeaks it out.
I think it's going to be a pretty... decent game, good game there. Yankton's going to go by probably 2 or 3 touchdowns,
Right.
I think.
2 touchdowns. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
If I were a betting man, 2 touchdowns would be the difference.
Which, it's going to be legal now. So.
I know, yeah, right. No, I don't think for high school sports, but could be.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
It's a possibility.
Anyways, quarterfinal round in AAA. The best game, and we'll hit that in a little bit, the best game of the week last week was obviously that Lincoln-Washington game. We'll get to that in a second. But Roosevelt beat Watertown by 43. Harrisburg beat O'Gorman without their best running back, Gavin Ross. Gavin Ross is probably the best running back in AAA, and he's only a sophomore. I played with him back for 3 years a while ago. An absolute unit, but they were without him last game, which surprised me. And they ended up beating this team that they actually lost to the week previous. But they always say it's hard to beat a team twice in AAA. Yeah. But Brandon Valley beat Central. We've seen that coming. And then Lincoln, Washington. Let's talk about this.
That was one heck of a game. Holy cow. That was the best game probably of the year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There would not be a better game than that unless, other than the Howard Canastota game. But in a playoff atmosphere, that has the Howard game beat.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't know what happened, the Lincoln Patriots got the ball back after basically getting the ball back with about a minute 21 left. They went down the field, ran it a few times, got the ball out of bounds. Tommy Thompson had the ball on their opposing team's 40-yard line and just threw up a prayer. And I don't know if Washington had a sophomore or D-back in there or what happened, but they threw up a prayer in the end zone, and it was worse than the Minneapolis Miracle as Tommy Thompson threw a 40-yard dart to the end zone to score it and win it for the Patriots.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It was crazy.
You would never see anything like that ever again. That was like Aaron Rodgers stuff.
Yep.
It was an absolute cannon of a throw, too. So let's go to this Roosevelt-Harrisburg game. This, in my opinion, should have been the state championship, but it's not. Yep. What do you think?
It's going to be a really good game both ways. I think both of these 11 AAA games are going to be really good because you got the 4 best teams, in my opinion, out there playing. It's going to be hard for Harrisburg to beat Roosevelt, in my opinion. I think Roosevelt's going to take it by a touchdown or less.
I'm picking Harrisburg here just because I know kids from both schools, but I know I'm more friends with kids from Harrisburg, so I'm going to have to take Harrisburg here for all the people watching. But I think Harrisburg takes it just because of the rushing attack, and Roosevelt can't stop that. But, Harrisburg does have a really, really good team. And if they air the ball out right, they're going to win that game. Brandon Valley versus Sioux Falls Lincoln. Brandon Valley is definitely an interesting team.
Yeah.
Because they've kind of been doing different things here and there, changing things up. But they play Lincoln, which is kind of a shoo-in at this point. So I don't know. What do you think?
This one's going to be another one of those where you can just flip a coin and decide who's going to win, in my personal opinion. And since 11 AAA is really not my area of expertise, I'm going to let you call this one for us.
Brandon Valley wins this game by at least 3 touchdowns. I don't think it's going to be close.
I think it's going to be a little closer than that, in my opinion, but
So
it's the playoffs. Anything can happen.
I'd be really, really happy if Harrisburg played Brandon Valley in the Dome. That'd be great. It'd be the best game of the year. So yeah.
Well, I think that about caps it all up for this 24th episode of the CharCole Podcast. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next episode.